Well, hello there, Luke Goblin. Thanks for making a cameo at the start of the video. Hey everyone, RogueGold here. Welcome back to the Division 2. Hope you all are doing well. I'm just here running through some Golden Bullet and figured I would fire up the good old video recorder to chat. Got an interesting topic that I want to dive into today. Two quick things I wanted to hit on off the top though before we do get into that. Firstly, I'm getting a lot of questions about the recent connection issues that the game is experiencing that some of you I know are running into. Two separate issues there to my knowledge that's kind of compounding to make things more confusing. Firstly, if you were running into the Uniform 1 error when trying to boot up the game, that was actually a result of Ubisoft's company-wide online infrastructure maintenance they were doing. I don't know why they chose to do it at the time that they did, but it was impacting more games than just the Division across Ubisoft's portfolio. To my knowledge, that should all be wrapped up and will no longer be an issue. The other one, though, is when your game boots straight to your home screen or to desktop if you're on PC. That's been happening as of the latest patch last week for the game. The game did put out a message about this the other day. I will put it up on screen. I'm appreciative of this kind of communication. It's what we have been asking for, you know, ever since the recent months where there's been a lot of silence on these issues. So if all goes to plan, that should be fixed up early next week. All right, and then before I start this control point, I'm sure I'm going to get questions about what build I'm running. Here it is right here. 400's Fury, Sokolov with Intimidate, Somra with Bloodsucker, Emmeline's Guard just for fun with Golden Bullet. It's fun build. That's why I'm rocking it. But the main topic that I wanted to actually get to today has to do with the upcoming Brooklyn DLC for the game. That's obviously a thing that a ton of people are looking forward to. And now that I think about it, I haven't done, I think, a dedicated video, kind of in everything we know about the DLC video in over a year. So I might have to do an updated version of that soon, because there is some new information that we've learned since then. But anyway, new DLC coming with Year 6 Season 3, roughly slated for early 2025. Obviously, a lot of people are excited about it. I know a lot of people in my own comment section personally who have said, like I said, countless comments, saying, I'm taking a bit of a break for the game, but I'm coming back once that DLC hits. And that's a very strong and shared sentiment across the Division community. It is a big release that a lot of people are looking forward to, and I would say rightfully so. We haven't had content or a release like this by the time it'll have come out in 5 years from when Warlords of New York released, right? And so that all plays into what I want to talk about today, which is the fact that Massive and Ubisoft are holding one very big card close to their vest in relation to the Brooklyn DLC, that being its reveal. There were a lot of people, myself included, who thought there were pretty good odds that they were going to, at least in some way, begin teasing the Brooklyn DLC at Ubisoft Forward back in June. That's obviously where we got the unveiling of the Year 6 plans, that whole trailer, mainly focusing on Seasons 2.0. I thought it was not a given, but again, a pretty good chance that they were going to include some kind of teaser trailer for the Brooklyn DLC, something, right? Because that is their big premiere thing for the year. That's, again, going to be coming in early 2025 with the last season of this year of content. But that show happened, and by the end of it, we hadn't seen anything from Brooklyn. They did mention it. They said it's coming in Year 6 Season 3 in that overall year trailer. But again, we didn't get any kind of CGI trailer, teaser trailer, nothing at all. We still don't even know the name of the damn thing. And that's pretty notable. Reason being, marketing is a very powerful engine in the world of game development. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this. Maybe some people don't like to admit it, but even if people are skeptical of a certain product or a certain update for a game that's coming out, marketing is a very powerful tool to get people re-engaged. And so one of the main reasons that I bring this up, it should be of no surprise to anybody, the Division 2 has been going through some tough times in these recent weeks and months. We've talked about it a ton here on the channel, whether it was the whole debate and thing with the seasonal characters, whether it's the technical issues that the game has been facing. It seems like, knock on wood, we might be heading towards a clearer path for that in the months coming ahead, but it's no question, like I said, that the game has been struggling. And so whether or not they planned it from the beginning, I doubt that they did, but it ended up being a good thing that they saved that reveal of the DLC and that that's still something that they have to play, because I believe that's going to be a very powerful wild card that they have over these next coming months. And if utilized properly, it really could be the thing that the game and the franchise needs to start getting some people back on board. Now, I'm sure some of you listening are going to be like, not me. You know, I'm moved on from this game. I'm done. No trailer is going to get me back on board. And I hear you. But what I would say in response to that is, remember what happened just about this time last year? About a month or two later, but as we headed into early September back in 2023, the game wasn't as dire of a place as it is right now. But if you don't remember, there was also a fair amount of cynicism going on with the game in the later parts of Year 5 Season 1, mostly because of some other technical issues that the game was having at the time. People were also not too happy about the fact that they announced that seasons were switching to a 4-month duration instead of a 3-month one. And so like I said, heading into early September, there were a lot of people that were just a little burned out, I think, on all things Division. They weren't super pumped and looking forward to what was coming up. And so, what did Ubisoft and Massive do? On September 13th, I believe it was, they just dropped this little tweet that said, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to make Division 3. And once Star Wars Outlaws comes out, Julian Garrity is coming back to the Division franchise as executive producer. And what did you see happen on that day? All these people that were spelling doom and gloom for the game, that were saying, it's over, I'm never playing the Division again, they were like, oh my god, we are so back. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Marketing and hype is a very powerful tool, whether you want to believe it or not. And so like I said, I think it's quite noteworthy that they have saved the reveal of the Brooklyn DLC and that that's now a wild card that they have to play at any time moving forward. Because if they play this all outright, you know, think about it. We have that August event that I was just talking about coming up sometime this month. We then have Seasons 2.0, which people seem to be more receptive for now that they've walked back the whole concept of seasonal characters, which is what a lot of people were asking for. If they play the timing right of the reveal of the Brooklyn DLC, that could be a very big motivator in a more positive shift of reception and just conversation around the game. You saw a very similar thing last year. Like I said, once they announced the Division 3 and all of that, we had a good few months of general positivity and people being excited about the future of the game. Once we had that, then we had Year 5 Season 2 and Paradise Lost released. We have the Recruiter finale. Like, a lot of that stuff got a lot of positive sentiment. I'm sure some people watching are going to be like, oh, of course you want the game to have nice things said about it. You make videos on it. Even more as just a content creator, as just a fan of this franchise, I just want people to be enjoying it again. I want people to be having conversations, having discussions, talking about the future. That's what I enjoy as a fan, right? And so like I said, I'm very curious to see how they will indeed handle the reveal of the Brooklyn DLC. I don't even know when they're going to do it. You know, it's a very solid thing to bring up that Warlords of New York, which to be fair is not the exact same type of content as that was labeled as an expansion, and they very conscientiously labeled this as a DLC, but at least a similar category of content reveal there. They didn't reveal Warlords until 1 month out before release in, what was it, February of 2020, right? When then it came out in March. Now, the one big difference, I would say, between these two situations is that we know of the DLC's existence. We didn't know that Warlords was a thing. We didn't know they were working on an expansion, and so they used that to their advantage to drop it all at once. So I don't think they would get quite the same amount of pop by holding it that late and then doing like a big info dump and almost shadow drop in that way. But similarly, it wouldn't shock me if we don't really hear about the Brooklyn DLC. We don't get a title reveal. We don't get a trailer until the really later months of 2024, maybe even something like November or December. But like I said, I just thought that was kind of an interesting angle and topic to discuss because I do think a lot of people, you know, whatever your thoughts are on the Division right now, I do think a lot of people are underestimating how much of a pop that reveal and the marketing behind the Brooklyn DLC could really have for the game. Like I said, I've seen countless comments from people saying that that is the thing that they are waiting to drop before they come back to the game. They said that they stopped playing, whether or not, you know, that's fully accurate. A lot of people will say that and then they continue playing anyway, but I do think it's true for a lot of people that they are waiting for this big content drop of the Brooklyn DLC to really become reinvested in the game again. And with everything else we have coming up, like the August event, like Seasons 2.0 minus seasonal characters, like Julian Garrity coming back to the franchise with Star Wars Outlaws releasing, if they fit in the timing right of the Brooklyn DLC's reveal, and if that goes well, which again, knowing Ubisoft and Massive and how they make their trailers, I'm sure it's going to, then that's going to be a very powerful thing for this community in these next coming months, and I'm certainly excited for it. So there you go, my friends. That's mostly what I wanted to talk about today. I would be super curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this entire discussion down below. What's your take on the overall potency of marketing and hype within the gaming industry overall? I think that's just kind of an interesting angle that just kind of parallels what we're seeing in the Division right now. But in my mind, it's no question how much of an effect that stuff all has, and I'm curious to see how it plays out in terms of the DLC. So let me know your thoughts there. Any other questions and thoughts you might have, as always, can't wait to read them down below. But that's going to do it for me today, everybody. I'm back to farming some more Golden Bullet. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Ow.